We're just two friends who love the movies, call each other every morning.
Hey, continue singing that song, Mitch. That could be our new podcast song.
I think it had its moment, and the moment is gone. Good morning, Sam.
Mitch Camps. I just had the urge to do it. I just had to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah. For years, Sam has accused me, a grown man, of being a little baby girl who cries a lot, and that's his impression of how he thinks of me.
So if you don't like a movie that Mitch loves, he cries.
Right,
Uh, he may not do it on the podcast, but he cries.
right. Real tears.
And I know this because I've known Mitch a long, long time. So this is this is this is facts. This is the truth, and then nothing but the truth. So Mitch, what's up, man? I know yesterday was a conversation. I'm still a little bit kind of a little sad that Train Dreams didn't really hit you as hard as it did me, but I guess that's the way it goes.
Yeah, well, there's some version of this where it hit me even harder. It
Okay.
was more able to hurt my feelings by what it did or didn't do because of this whole relationship I had with its source material.
See, I've always been pretty good at separating a book and the movie,
Right,
because they're two different mediums, right? Like,
very true.
and so although in my mind, if I'm watching a movie and I'm like, oh, I would have, that's not how it was in the book. I can easily forgive it because I know it's like, well, you have a book that sometimes they have hundreds of pages, but then you have a movie that you got to fit a 2 hour long movie. So
Yeah, but you'll see things done and you'll know they can be done and you'll even imagine ways that you would do them. And there's just a little bit of sadness for that loss, but not any serious sadness. I mean, I guess it bothered me to the tune of 4 stars. So,
okay, well, I hope a second viewing kind of changes your tune on it a little, because I do think it's a pretty special film. I have been seeing that it's been getting a lot more awards recognition. I think it really deserves it. Man, I'll be honest. I'm kind of looking for, well, not kind of. I'm really looking forward to Marty Supreme.
I
I
am
think,
too.
yeah, I think that's gonna be the big. Usually they release like a big awards contender movie around the holidays. I think La La Land was the one around in 2016. But Marty Supreme has been just getting a lot of phenomenal reviews. Do you think this could be the year Mr. Timmy finally wins? Like,
I, I don't have a strong inclination about that. There's so many other major contenders, but it could happen, and we'll
yeah,
see. We'll see the
I,
movie. I
you know,
think he
I,
should get nominated for his performance in their marketing a gimmick that they put out earlier
yeah, dude. Oh my
in the month.
gosh, man. Yeah, of course. Uh,
I hope that gets the Golden Globe for Best Ensemble.
Yeah, dude. That was a pretty incredible little skit. It was a pretty incredible performance. I
Yeah, it's so
uh
funny.
I read one of the a brief review of it, and they said it's pretty amazing that Timothy Chalamet, and I'm just kind of like not giving it to you word by word, but they say something along the lines of it's pretty amazing that Timothy Chalamet gives this monumental performance and makes it look like it's just like a layup shot for him, you know, like
Are Are you talking about Marty Supreme or the marketing?
Marty Supreme.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, it seems like this is a role that's a little bit tailor-made for him. So,
So I really do think he has a very strong chance. I know that people keep on using the excuse, oh, he's young. But here's the thing, they've used that excuse the past couple of times he's been nominated, you know?
well,
And
I think they're gonna keep milking this, you know. It's good press for the Academy when you have someone, and I don't know if this is too too much of a comparison, but it was good for the Oscars as a narrative when DiCaprio kept punting on wins. And so with someone like Timothy who, you know, he's got that hunger, they're gonna keep he's gonna that hunger is good for everybody else. You know, I mean if he loses this year again, he's just gonna grind even harder. He's gonna
yeah,
find and I also feel a little bit like I think he's actually in some ways struggling in my estimation to so he had, you know, the so-called transformative role last year. And I
yeah.
even thought he should have won last year. I just am
Who
amazed by
won
what he
last year?
was. Oh wow, Ray Fine was a front runner. He didn't win. Uh, who was it? Look at us, a couple of knuckleheads. Can't tell you who won Best Actor last year.
I mean, I guess that shows you that maybe,
It was a
and
forgettable performance.
well, not only that, but if we're talking about we're still talking about Timothy Chalamet and how he should have won. You know,
Oh well. Dude, I can even name. Yeah, that's weird. Oh well. Well, anyways, what I was saying, I guess, is that it feels like, in some ways, a lot of times, so, okay, over Thanksgiving, I didn't watch it, and I haven't seen it, but Wonka got turned on, and I was like, what's going on here? I mean, this is a little bit of a grating performance uh, off the run, and it feels like something he could have really dug into. I think
yeah.
he was doing the Dylan thing at the same time, and I'm sure that w- was something that he really felt he had to sink into, and so shifting into another larger than life character may have been a little difficult.
I mean, I could see that in the performance. Overall, I thought the movie Wonka was I enjoyed it. You know, um,
Okay, I didn't
I
finish it, so
yeah, no. I thought it was a very enjoyable film. Saw it with the family
I know
around the
you're in the tank
holiday.
for Paul King, is it?
Yeah, Paul King. Uh, and so yeah, I thought it was a delightful little film. But yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. I think it's one of those very similar to what you said about Leo. Maybe they're just kind of like building up the anticipation to whenever he does win. But I'll be honest, looking at all the nominees, I really do think that this actually may be the time he wins. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong, but I guess we'll see whenever we do uh, our ballots, right? Audience, if you don't know, I'm sure a lot of you do it as well. But Mitch and I and a couple of friends of ours, uh, we we do a contest who gets the most right. Uh,
Yeah, that's right. And hold on, let me get out my script that you emailed me this morning. And Sam wins every single year, and he is always the best at picking.
Dude, shut up, man. Look, audience, uh, just so you know, I've given them many opportunities. You know,
Oh my
I
goodness.
I would like for one of them to win, and that's the gone on truth. Like I want one of my friends to
It's
win.
the what truth?
Look, I'm just excited to be talking about movies, Mitch. That's it.
So I wanted to mention something. I one of the things that bothers me the most in my movie watching life is when I start a movie and for whatever life circumstance I don't finish it. Okay?
Yeah.
So now you've got a movie that's just hanging in the air. I'll give you my most egregious and upsetting example. You let me borrow Cinema Paradiso when we were in high school, and I started it. I watched maybe even up to half of it, and then for whatever reason, you needed it back. I don't know if I was leaving town. I don't know what was happening, but I I had to give it back, and I didn't finish it, and I still haven't finished it. It's
Wow.
so, but the thing is, it would be easy to finish, right, Mitch? You've watched hundreds of movies since then. Just put it on and watch it. But there's something about when I don't finish a movie that puts it in this weird limbo that it just becomes this frustrating thing that I I feel like, you know, this unfulfilled sort of thing that's happened and kind of is strained to go back to it. It's some sort of neurosis in me, and I don't know what it's all about. But I mean, it happened with Raging Bull. That was one I saw half of it, and the fact that I had seen half of it for some reason, I finally did watch that one. But it also happened with a less, dramatic, less serious movie, Erin Brockovich,
Oh yeah.
uh, and it was on Prime. And so I put it on. I was like, finally, I'm gonna watch this thing. And then the next, it was like 2 days later, it was gone off of there again. It was
Uh,
locked out. I mean, I could rent it again. It's like it's right there. I mean, I could. It's not like these are difficult to come by, but I get into this weird. Anyways, so I didn't get to finish it. Do you have movies like that where you've seen part of them but never finished them? Not out of a choice of like I just didn't like it, but just circumstance.
you know, uh, I'm very OCD, Mitch. I'm very OCD, and I recently, so I have to finish it. I like in my mind it feels incomplete, right? Like I'm like like not that I need to know what happens, but I need to complete it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like
Oh yeah. Well, that's how
uh
I feel, but I don't know what this blockade inside me is that keeps me kicking it down the road for so long.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, usually I'm trying to think. Uh, but I don't think I have one like that. I will say though, I have been watching a movie that I like. I keep trying to finish, but I just not that it's not a good movie, but it's just I can't finish it. It's called The Reader. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but that was one that came out when I was first starting to read City Scene and Film Crit.
Yeah. So the Reader is with Kate Winslet and Ray Fiennes. Um, I'm not sure if many. The only reason why people know that movie is because that's the movie that finally won Kate Winslet an Oscar. I think it was more of a, career award.
Yeah.
It's a, I rewatching it now. I'm like a little over halfway. I actually find it's a very good. I think it's a good movie. I mean, Ebert gave it 3.5 out of 4. But I just cannot seem to finish it. Like I'll sit down and I'll watch like 10, 15 minutes and then something ends up happening. But anyways, but so I mean that's the closest thing I have to what you were saying.
I've had months of gap between finishing a movie sometimes that was no problem. Just like The Interpreter recently we talked about, the DVD scratched and then it hit Netflix and we finished it months later. Or I was starting Max Dugan Returns with my grandfather and had to leave town and came back and we just finished it with Jason Robards and I think that was uh, Ferris Bueller, Matthew Broderick's first major role.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah, Max Dugan Returns.
Dude, I was watching a movie this past weekend. I had never heard of it. It was called Geronimo with Wes Studi, Matt Damon, Gene Hackman, Robert Duvall, Jason Patrick.
It's
I
about Geronimo.
Well, yeah, it's about Geronimo, the Native American chief. But I didn't even know that movie existed. I knew of the Geronimo, the person, the real life person, but I had no idea all those actors were in the same movie.
Yeah, that's a big cast. Well, I was looking for movies about the Native American Squanto recently. You know this guy?
Yeah, I think Disney made a movie that I grew up on.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's, and don't quote me on this. I think it's called Squanto: A Warrior's Tale.
That yeah, I did see that when I was looking for titles because I was looking to see if there's a really good movie about him because my gosh, man, that guy's story is unbelievable. I was watching the Mayflower Voyagers, which was a little educational Peanuts special over
Yeah,
Thanksgiving, and it goes into, some pretty broad detail about him, but I
yeah,
got to reading about him and he was like kidnapped and enslaved and taken to Spain, and then he was ransomed by these Christian monks over there. And then he made his way to England, and then he made his way back to where he was from in America, and all of his tribe had been wiped out by disease.
wow.
And then he ended up, helping these pilgrims at Plymouth learn how to plant food and broker or find a peace treaty with the other tribes that were there. Such an incredible story to not have an in-depth movie about it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember really enjoying. I haven't seen that movie in many years, but I remember enjoying it a lot. We watched it in school. They would always put it on. It was funny because do you remember AR reading?
Yeah, of course.
Um, I I love to read books, right? And so if you had so many points that you read and took tests on, um, they would have like movie days for you at the library, right? And
Yeah.
so Squanto was usually one that they would put on a lot, which I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
mind. Some of the other kids in my class complained about it, but
I didn't
I
like
didn't.
it.
Well, because not that they didn't like it, but it was because it was like they would usually put the same movie, and I didn't mind that because I enjoyed the movie. But yeah, dude, if you haven't seen that one, I would recommend that one. I think actually that's a pretty safe movie to show the family. Obviously, it's a Disney movie, but I do agree with you. I think his story is fascinating, and I am really surprised they haven't made like a more in depth, like a rated R or maybe even a hard PG-13 version of his life story.
Well, with AR accelerated reading, taking the test and getting points, did you ever did you ever try to take a test on a movie that you saw that was adapted from a book?
I did. I remember too. I remember the feeling I had taking the test.
What was the feeling?
It was excitement, but nervous, but also fear. Um, I think I want to say I I barely passed it.
Yeah, every time I did that, almost, it was with disastrous results. Just one example would be Mary Poppins, which, if you've ever read the book, is completely different from the movie, like so many books to movies. But it was not a good idea for me, and I bombed a lot of tests. And once you took them, if I remember correctly, you couldn't retake them, so it wasn't like I could read the book and then like retake the test or you couldn't continue to get, points on the same book.
Yeah, I remember doing that. Although I had read the book, but it had been a while since I read the book, and I had just recently watched the movie, but I did it for holes,
Yeah,
and I ended up passing. I think I
yeah.
passed with like a 70 or an 80.
That's a
I,
great adaptation right there.
oh, that's one of the greatest book to movie adaptations ever made. Like that movie, We actually went to go. That was one of the AR accelerated reading rewards. Is we got to go get in a limo, and we went to McDonald's, and we went to the movies to go see Holes. That was one of the movies we watched.
You know why they knew that that was a kid's fantasy is because they saw Home Alone. They're like, okay, what do we got to do for these kids? We got to get them in a limo, get them some fast food, take them to the movies. But
Yeah,
that's
I was just gonna say it's a great experience.
yeah, that's awesome. A good memory. Well, that's an example there of a movie. I mean, I read the book obviously before that, and the movie just enhanced everything that I'd read. I can't believe this is bringing it to life in this way. It's
And
it's
and you know what? Even the changes they made, like the minor changes they made, I thought I was perfectly fine with it. I thought they did that pretty well. I mean, it was I always forget that Rosanna Arquette is in it.
oh yeah, I didn't remember that. She was kissing Kate Barlow.
Yeah, kissing Kate Barlow, and then
It's Patricia Arquette, isn't it?
or Patricia Arquette. I'm thinking of the other sister.
Yeah,
No, no, no. It was yeah, I think it is Patricia. I know
yeah,
there's a
pretty sure.
Rosanna. I could be wrong, but oh, what's that saying that the grandpa always says? I would always me and my brothers would always say it. Well, excuse you,
That's pretty funny, man. Yeah,
dude.
that's a good movie.
Um, before we end the call, I was just gonna mention I had watched a 2025 movie called Anniversary. Have you heard of it?
You know, who's in that? What's it about? Tell me
So
about it.
it's Diane Lane, Kyle Chandler, Zoe Deutsch. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, yeah,
Dylan
and
O'Brien.
she's like Deutsch is like the girlfriend of Dylan O'Brien, and
No,
she's
no,
kind
no,
of a
no, no,
threat too.
no. Zoe Deutsch is the sister.
Okay, who's the girlfriend is like an actress that's kind of new on the scene,
Yeah,
but
she's from
she's the
she's from
threatening presence to the family
Brit.
order.
Yeah, she's from Bridgerton.
Okay,
I think her name is Phoebe something.
okay. Well, what did you think of it?
So look, this movie, it could have been a play. To be honest with you, it really could have been a play, because it pretty much has one setting. It pretty much has one setting, aside from a few brief scenes outside of the house area. But and it's separated by, you know how people they do chapters or part one, part two, part three.
Yeah, it's like an
Well,
epidemic in movies today.
well, what they do now is they do a 1 year later, 2 years later. So the whole movie spans 5 years total, right?
Oh, interesting.
I'm not going to go too much into it, right? I'll just say this. This is one of the more terrifying movies I've seen in the past few years.
Okay.
Um, and if you have a family, you'll especially really feel something while watching this movie.
For some reason, I just get this vision of somebody who randomly stumbles onto our videos and has been listening to this episode, and it gets to the end, and they're like, you say, and if you have a family, and they're just all alone in their house with no family, just like
Oh,
staring into space.
dude, that's the audience. If that's you, if that's one of you, please put a comment. You're not alone. You're not alone. Mitch and me are here for you.
Yeah, and we'll be here the same time tomorrow.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.